The most uncomfortable seat known to man. 200,000 miles at the bottom of the seat there. There's little wires that go under there that support you. Burp, gets a hole in it, kills your back. You got that problem? Well, if you do, come on back and I'm going to show you how to bolt in a set without drilling, without anything. Airbags working, seatbelts working, the whole business. Set of seats, bucket seats in your Tacoma. Come on back and I'm going to show you how to do it so you don't make the same mistakes I did. Hey, welcome back to the Engineer Channel. Have I got a deal for you? If you've got one of these, an 05 to 012 to 12 regular cab Tacoma pickup truck, and it has one of these, but you'd love to have something like this, then this is the video for you. So step one is to find your set of seats out of like an 06 model Toyota 4Runner. Now the seats, you can see, are going to be a little bit slightly different color. This is kind of a more of a beigey tan than it is a gray, but it's not so bad that it doesn't work. The other thing you're going to need to find if you want something like this works really well, is out of like a 2000 to 2002, I think, Nissan Xterra center console. Bolts right in. The contours on the floor are the same. You do have to make some brackets to mount it to the transmission tunnel. But other than that, works great. 2 cup holders in front. There's 2 cup holders in the back. Plus you have the little well there. One thing we'll need to know is that the 4Runner seats have the seatbelt bolted to the side of them. Those seatbelts do not work on the Tacoma seatbelt buckle tongues here, okay? So you have to pull the seatbelts out of your old seat and reuse the latch part out of your old seat and bolt those in. So you can't reuse the 4Runner seatbelt buckles. They just don't work. They're a different size tongue on the seatbelt latches. But other than that, another thing so there's no drilling on the floor. The holes are already here on the Tacoma. All you have to do is cut that little piece of carpet right there, and the hole is already there. It's tapped and everything. Same on the back. So all you have to do is just get access to those. Seats bolt right in. You will have to, surprisingly, on the old bench seat in your car, there's a lot of wiring. You have to pull all that wiring off your old car. Now these seats do have an adjustable lumbar right here on them. Now I do not have this wired up right now, but I think if I ran power to it, this little motor would turn on and give you some lumbar support in the back of the driver's seat only. Now these are manual seats. So you do have the tilt up and down here. This is kind of neat. If you raise up on this, the seat pan comes up. You push down on it, the seat pan lowers down. You've got another button up here that lowers the seat pan angle. So it's changing the angle up and down, which is really good if you have long legs like me. Now the downside of this, there is some downside. Number one, here's the one. The seats only go up that far, okay? So using the space behind the seat for stuff is really limited. You can scoot the seat up, of course. And now I have room to get back there and get at some of the stuff that I have back here in the back, right? Some Gatorades, apparently. But that seat becomes, the space back here becomes a little bit harder to access. Number two is when you do slide the seat up, it starts to hit the console up here on these trucks. Now, it's no big deal because I have long legs and I sit far back, and so that doesn't matter. But to me, the pros way outweigh the cons. So here's a shot from the passenger side. But again, you got to do this conversion. These seats are 1,000 times more comfortable than the bench seat that came in this truck. If you don't pull the wiring off your old seat, your old bench seat that you get, there's a couple things that won't work. Number one, your seat belt, when you have your buckles in, won't tell you that it's fastened. Your little light will be on the dashboard. Also, Your airbag light will not work, and your airbag light on your dashboard will work if you don't plug that back in. So if it doesn't see those seat belts plugged in that circuit, then it's going to throw that light switch. The other one is the passenger seat has a pressure sensor under it, a piezo pressure sensor inside the seat. If you just lift up on that seat, you can slide that sensor out and then slide into the other one. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Watch this. So one thing you will have to do is take your old bench seat and take the wiring harness out of it. You wouldn't think there's a lot of wiring in the bench seat, but there is quite a bit. There's a seatbelt connector to know that the seatbelt's plugged in on the driver's side and the passenger side, as well as the middle seat. There is a sensor to tell if the seat is too far forward. It's a magnetic Hall effect sensor, and it's on the passenger side of the old bench seat. Just take a Torx driver, remove that. It's magnetic, and just stick it to the frame of your new seat underneath it, and you're good to go. I'm not gonna hook that back up where if I have it's too far forward. I'm not ever gonna have children in this truck. Yeah, I know, probably just avoided some warranty but anyway, I've got that back on the seat. I just moved that sensor over to this seat. The other thing is that you'll have a problem with this guy right here. Okay, now this is a piezoelectric sensor that says, hey, someone's sitting on top of me. Okay, now this turns on the passenger airbag. It also turns a light on the dashboard that says, hey, your passenger is in and they don't have their seatbelt buckled. Okay, so this is just sticky glued onto the old bench seat. So I just lifted up on the cover and lifted this up and then just slid it out. It just is that easy. There's nothing else holding it in there except some old adhesive, and it just comes right out. Then I can take this and plug it into the old wiring harness for the old seat. In the new seat, all I have to do is insert this under the cover in the new seat, and then all my airbag stuff will be hooked back up. Now, on the 06 4Runner seats, the seat belt buckles are thinner. The tongue on the seat belt is thinner than they are on the Tacoma, and they won't plug in. So you're gonna have to pull out your old seat belts from your old bench seat and reuse those. So they'll be floor mounted, whereas these seats have a provision to mount the seat belt to the side of the seat. So I just took these seat belts that came with these seats and I just tossed them. And so I used my original seat belt buckles, and now everything works. The lights work on the dash when you plug your seatbelt in. It says, you know, someone's sitting here as the seatbelt plugged in. The light on the dash, after I plug this in, that'll work. And so everything works good. Super simple install. Everything just plug and play, just bolts in. So let me show you. Now, number one, I put seat jackers on here. I don't need them. I'm fixing to take them off because the seat goes up and down a lot. That makes it too high. I'm fixing to take those back out. So that's one of the things I have to do. Number two is that all four holes, 1, 2, 3, 4, all holes line up, no drilling, and just bolt the seat down. That's it, okay? It goes back far enough that I can tilt the seat back till it touches here, and it's comfortable for me. I'm 6'2", so there is enough room in the cab to fit these in if you're wondering. If you know what all this stuff down here goes to, I would love to know. If these seats have heated seats on them, I want to hook them up, but I don't know. There's a couple of electronic bits here, one on the other side. And then there's a seatbelt sensor that says is the seatbelt plugged in. There's a couple more electronic gizmos down here, one over here, one over here. Not exactly sure what those do. I'm sure this seat has a sensor to see if somebody's in there. But for me, it's easier to just move the one from my other seat over, hook it back up to my wiring harness, and then the original truck wiring all works as intended. Here's what I'm trying now. I'm trying to get room for this piezo sensor to go down in the seat. So I've got some, basically there's little thin strips of wood, almost like paint sticks. And then I can split them in half and slip another one down in between them. Whoop. And I'm going to keep doing that until I get this opening big enough down in here so that sensor will just slide down into place. Okay, here goes. I got 4 little sticks here and 3 over there, 4 over there, 5 over there. Here we go, ready? The little side with the goop on it is the side that was stuck to the foam in the other truck. Look at this. There's even a relief in the foam for the wire to come out of on the new seats. It's like they thought of everything. Watch this. Whoop. Look at that. That is freaking money right there. Pull the sticks out. Dunskies. Now all I've got to do is just flip this back over and hook this back up. Flip this back over. Bloop. Installed on the back of the seat. How's that? Okay, so once I got that installed, the seat works just like the old seat does, because I have the same exact seat sensor that it used to have in it. So when somebody sits in it, the light on the dash turns on, says, hey, you need to fasten your seatbelt, whatever, right? Everything works. These seats are 10,000 times better than the old bench seat. So if you have any questions about doing this conversion and, anything at all, drop me a line in the comments. Do this, and you'll be more comfortable. Thank me later. Thanks for watching the Engineer Channel, and I'll see you next time.